you walk right in front of the camera, man.
Is this the camera?
And it's on. You're gonna put your hand in. You walk right in front of the camera. This is on, bro.
I
Okay.
didn't know, but
You're still doing it. You're still putting your hand up. But this is live right now. Like everything we do.
Let's start. See? Let's start.
Let's talk, brother. What way I do? If you gonna keep snitching all this, you plan on moving? And he was like, yo, you heard what happened to Sean? And I was like, what you talking about? And I was like, yo, he said your Sean Price died. Yo. And that shit sent a chill through me. I'm not visualizing me sitting across the table from another rapper. I'm visualizing me sitting across the table from God. And I gotta impress God. Hip hop is a thing of trend. It's fucked up when your death is a trend.
So I'm walking down Kentish Town and I bump into this guy here. And I'm thinking to myself, I swear I recognize him. And sure enough, I go up to him to talk to him, and guess who it is? It's Bruse Wane. Oh my God.
What's going on?
Bro,
Blade.
listen.
And he recognized me with the shades on.
With the shades on. You know why
I still haven't taken them off because I was performing last night. I usually perform with shades on. It makes me feel like a superhero. It makes me feel like I got the Batman thing going on.
Yeah.
So the shades is on.
And you know, obviously when I saw you, I just thought to myself, yo, you're here. I was a bit confused because you're not from here and you're just here, and randomly you happen to be here for a couple of days. So I figured, you know what, why not let's just do this interview.
Let's do it.
Let's just do something on the spot.
Let's do it on the spot. It's a pleasure and an honor to be doing it with you.
I know you're from New York.
Yeah, I'm from the Bronx, Soundview section, Bronxdale Projects. Salute, big up to everybody from Bronxdale out here representing y'all and representing hip hop thoroughly and well. But yeah, from the Bronx, as far as my introduction to hip hop, growing up in the projects, they used to have jams out in the projects. There was a guy there in my projects, Bronxdale, known as Disco King Mario, who's also looked as one of the pillars of hip hop. Throughout the course of the years, there's been controversy of between Mario and Herc and who started the whole hip hop thing. And out of my projects also was an organization. I call it an organization. Some people call it a gang. known as the Black Spades. And the Black Spades originated in my projects as well. And they eventually spun off and became the Universal Zulu Nation, led by Bambaataa, and him and Mario also knew each other. Everything is connected with this whole thing. But as far as me being in the Bronx, having an influence of hip hop, seeing it flourishing, and as far as becoming an MC, I just pretty much went to school one day. I spit a rhyme for one of my friends. He was like, "It's dope." I was like, "Okay," and I just pretty much kept going. You know what I mean? So that was it, and I just kept just going, honing my skills, and that's it.
Do you remember the reason why you kind of felt like this is what I need to be doing? Like, because for me, I remember like when I was breakdancing and stuff, it was an easy way to get girls.
Well, I grew up in a household. I'm of Jamaican descent too. I was born in the island of Jamaica, and I immigrated to the U.S. So, besides the music being outside, it was also like my mother constantly playing reggae music, like Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, just a host of artists, and it had an effect on me. Because even though now as an artist, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I get on my gangster rap shit, and I was predominantly mostly conscious. And I still do conscious lyrics, I still do conscious songs, but when I first started, I was everything. I'm gonna change the world because of the Bob Marley influence and the stuff my mom was playing and singing throughout the house. So that played a role in it too. You know what I mean? Obviously, being I came here young, the whole Jamaican and trying to become what they call a DJ, which is the reverse of MC, that was out the window.
I remember when the DJs, as in the DJs, were the DJs.
Yeah, that always confused me when I was a kid, though. But with the Jamaican, I was like, why they call them DJs and these guys are not DJing? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we call them MCs. It was like the role is like a whole reversal thing going on. Yeah, but that also influenced me. My mom's presence and having that revolutionary music being played in the background. Early in my career, I actually was with a collective known as Starving Artists. And we was like, so, in my opinion, far ahead of the curve. Cause we was like talking like Matrix 3 and UFOs, and we was just out there, man. We
In
was
the
just,
lyrics.
yeah, like as far as the subject matter we were dealing with. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them was following the whole Malachi York. They was into Malachi more than I was though. You know what I'm saying? They was like coming back, giving me stories. We was in Atlanta seeing UFOs. I'm like, really? You know? But I'm jumping ahead a little bit. This is further down the line. But yeah, as far as the influence and the music, my mom, and what was going on outside, and me spitting my little rinky-dink rhyme, and my friend praising me, and I was like, hey, he's like, keep going. I don't know where that guy is today. Yeah, so that was pretty much it. Well, he was telling me about going down to Atlanta and see aliens. This probably like the early 90s, early to mid 90s or something like that. You know what I mean? So I was like later on, you know, because when I was doing my little rinky dinks and all that, that was probably like mid 80s.
Do you remember the first time you kind of thought to yourself, I'm going to make a record? I mean, was that even a priority?
It kind of was, I guess. I wanted to get into the studio. I was never in a recording studio before, and I was in high school. And I was already writing songs and doing music, but I never was in an actual recording studio. And I went to Stevenson High School in the Bronx. Steve-O, what up? And I met this producer named Jerome. I met my DJ there, because when I started was still when like an MC had to have a DJ. You know what I'm saying? It was like mandatory, like with the way it was over there. Like you had your MC and you had your DJ. It's like it was like this. That's the doc. That's what we were following. So and it was a producer named Jerome, and we used to go to his house, and he had like the SK5 or the SP. It was like one of them real early era samplers, like this small. And
That wouldn't have been the SP12. The SP12.
no, it was like a SK5 or something.
all right.
I could be getting it wrong, but I know it was small and black. It definitely wasn't the SP1200 because I know how those look.
Yeah.
But it had piano keys on it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like an SK5 or something like that. But I know it's sample, and he used to use that a lot. And anyway, he's the first one I went to the studio with, and then it was just like that was early '90s, man. I've been doing this for a very long time, and so it was a priority. I remember the first song I had was called "I'm Coming Out." I know I was on some. I ain't trying to be on no Diana Ross shit. That was the name of the song. I'm coming out. This is early when you're experimenting and just doing. I wish I knew where that demo was now. You know.
Was that from? Was that I'm Coming Out?
This was it. The Diana. Yeah, Diana Ross. That's what most people think of when they hear it. But I wasn't trying to mimic the chorus or nothing like that.
Okay.
I don't know why I had that title. And it played nothing to do with the production. Like really, I mean, back in the days, remember, you used to say like the name of the song usually used to always be like you end the verse with the name of the song before it goes into the hook.
Yeah.
Like da-da-da-da-da-da, I'm coming out.
Yeah.
Next verse, and I'm coming out. You find a way to shift it into the verse. You as a lyricist and artist, you know that.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I actually, when I was writing, I tried to avoid that.
Yeah, but I'm talking when I came in early. De La Soul broke me out of that.
Okay.
They were one of my big influences too.
Okay.
It was like KRS and then De La, because
That's a big difference.
that's why, like I said, you could listen to my stuff, and I really don't like to be in a box. Like you might hear one song, it depends on the mood I'm in. Every man has different dimensions. I'm a conscious person. I have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, but I've also been in the street where there was a lot of ignorance involved in my life. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on how the record may take me, how I may want to speak on different portions or courses in my life or things I know about. So I may make a party record. I like to party. I might make a hardcore record, depending on who's on the artist or who made the beat. Anyway, I try to be well-rounded. As far as an artist, I'm not a one-trick pony type artist. Like, you're going to always get the same shit. But De La helped me see that it was okay to be yourself.
When was your first record?
My first time going into the studio was 91. I'm going to keep it real, like maybe 91, 92.
And how long were you on?
My first record released off of what we would consider a label was Chemistry Records, and that was like 98. It was a small label in Brooklyn, and they were actually trying to negotiate a deal for me with Def Jam, but that didn't manifest itself, and I was actually on the contract with them, and I kind of had to go do one of those, let me out this contract, kind of get aggressive thing, you know, they didn't want to let me go. But I was walked in the labels earlier than that. I was walked in the A&M Records, and I sat down with Easy Mo B, not to just throw his name out there, but I sat down with Easy Mo B, salutes to him, and we spoke in a studio session because I did some work with him. And when I told him, he said, "Oh, that was my label." I said, "Oh, what?" I said, "Yeah." And I was telling him how I was walked up there. This guy heard me rapping in the barbershop around the way, and he happened to work for the label. He was like, "Yo, come to the studio." He was like, "No, come up to the label." And it was A&M. And I went, and my DJ accompanied me. He accompanied me when we went. And I remember he took me upstairs. And when RZA, I reflect to this, you probably heard me, if anyone that follows me, hear me, probably in previous interviews, if the question was asked. When RZA said, first of all, who's your A&R? A mountain climber who plays an electric guitar? That's who I was in front of. This guy looked like a mountain climber that played an electric guitar, but he was handling urban music, you know, and being that he was handling urban music was a stark contrast to the fact of what we were doing. So, but that's it exactly. He didn't look like he had any connection with urban music or to dictate where urban music should be going. He wanted to change me. He wanted to change my sound. He started throwing out artists that he feels that I should imitate. And I wasn't into imitation. And that's pretty much where that left off. I wasn't into imitation. And it just didn't work out. It didn't work out. But when the RZA said that, yeah, that's true. First of all, who's your A&R? A mountain climber who plays an electric guitar? Wow. And I heard that line, and I was in studios, Funhouse, all these other studios around what we would refer to as Soho in Manhattan. I know you guys have a Soho out here too. And you'd see everybody that was trying to make it with their names up there and shit. And I remember I seen the Wu-Tang shit. They had like a big fucking castle drawn on the wall that said Shaolin. And we from the Bronx and Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? And so we're like, what the fuck is some Shaolin? We're not knowing like a couple years later, these guys is gonna kick the door down on another level. But yeah, man, my first record commercially released is probably like 98.
Okay.
Like I said, of Chemistry Records.
How long were you doing kind of the street rounds and, you know, jumping on stages and like letting the world know you existed before that? What was the time span before?
But that was probably like 95.
So it didn't take you that long
93,
to get
95. Because that's when you had the whole Lyricist Lounge thing going on. And like I said, we were still doing like street ciphers. Like you might just come out the studio and you in a cipher. You know what I mean? Or you someplace, and street ciphers was big in New York back then. Like, you know what I mean? Like how you might just be walking down the street and see some guys are just getting involved. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, no invitation needed, just get involved. But as far as like the club circuit, like it was like the Lyricist Lounge, we used to have another Cafe Y was big. And there was another one downtown we used to go to with my producer. My producer always had like the spots where to go and rap and get busy. But looking back, that feels like eons ago, man. And to some of y'all it is. Yeah.
So when you were on the streets doing the ciphers and everything, do you remember any particular moment where, say, somebody famous who's big now?
Nah, there was never no one famous in none of the ciphers. Not that I was involved with. Nah, it was just young cats just doing their thing. You know what I mean? I never was like in a cipher with someone that I could say now was like, oh shit, that was Buster. Nah, I didn't get that privilege.
Yeah.
You know.
But they must have done the rounds as well, right?
They had to.
Yeah.
They had to. But I don't know. Remember, Buster's from Long Island originally. Even though he claims Brooklyn, I never bumped into Nas. As far as
Magnetics and all those guys, they were already on their way.
Yeah, because Ultimate Magnetics is like a generation or so ahead of me, for them. But shouts out to them too, by the way. Shouts out to Big D. Shouts out to Said G. You know what I mean? Shouts out to those my dudes. Right? Yeah. I saw your man jumped in that day when I was when we had the brief interview briefly.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, Bruce, you're a funny dude.
That was said, wasn't it? No,
No,
TR.
that was TR.
Yeah,
That was when
TR.
I don't know if you peeped that.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that.
when
Yeah, I
I
saw
was
that.
kind of scolding that guy a little bit, like, yo. I was like, what's wrong with your face? Like he was mad because I was name dropping. Like, I'm supposed to take my own credentials from myself. Like,
See, that's
you know what I'm saying?
See, that's the crazy
I was
thing.
like, why is this guy rolling his eyes and shit?
But see, that's the crazy thing. I don't think anyone means anything by it. I don't think it was rolling his eyes in
He's rolling his eyes, man.
Not in a disrespect. I know the guy. He's
Yeah.
just like that.
No,
anyway,
but he didn't know that me and you spoke previously,
Yeah.
and that you were trying to have me come in like, oh, let people know what's going on with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
So he just thought I just jumped on trying to toot my horn like, yo, I'm the shit. It's about me right
No,
now.
But he contacted me later and he goes, who is that? And he didn't know. That's the thing. And that's actually an important thing because, like, you know, he's a different generation to us.
Yeah.
In particular to me.
Yeah.
Less to you, right? But he's still a different generation to you as well as me.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that basically haven't seen you around. You haven't been as active as maybe you could have been over the years. You disappeared for a little while and all that.
I went into management.
Right, okay, so talk about that.
Well, I went into management based on, I can't remember the exact last straw which made me go into management, because I know I had a meeting with Universal Records, and they had me come down to Broadway. They used to be based on close by Columbus Circle, 59th Street, and it was a female A&R. They had me down there in the studio, the offices, and I was rapping while, you know what I mean?
While managing.
This is before. This is the last straw
Okay.
before I went into management.
Yeah.
I was rapping for her, and then the phone rings and she's on the phone. I'm still rapping and shit, and then you know what I mean. So I rapped for about a minute while she's in the conversation. Then I stopped and she's like, "Oh, why you stop rapping?" I'm like, "You on the phone? Are you even listening to me anymore?" You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that manifested into nothing because that was it, man. And I know I just saw a body. They had like a friggin' damn near like a basket of just demo tapes. I guess of artists that was mailing stuff to them, and so a lot of people that was under the impression that they don't listen to that music, they was listening to it, and they would take whatever was hot and give it to who was already on their roster. So if you ever heard a song and said, "That sounds like that's my hook," or "That sounds like," you may not be off.
Well, isn't that kind of the story with the whole Biggie thing?
You know, yeah, that Biggie thing, I heard about that. I don't know if it's true. I've seen a lot of people bring it up. You know, a lot of people shy away from it because God rest the dead, bless the dead. He can't, it's not he's able to defend himself. But the similarities that I saw was definitely eye-raising, because I didn't even know when I first saw the story about this other guy from the South and the this and the that and the this. And I was just like, it is what it is.
That's the music
I'm
industry.
not judging jury, you know, but I'm telling you, because I sensed something in and I heard it and I was like, and then you have them friends like, "You're crazy, man." And I'm like, "Listen to this and listen to that." And like, nah, they probably just had that. And I kind of was one of them guys that kind of tried to be out the box after I got through the whole try to imitate, not imitate, but try to follow. And then I got to a point where, no, I'm going to be me. Take it or leave it. So I kind of did a lot of out the box. So when you someone that's out the box, or you hear something that's like, even though they like to say, "Oh, everything that's been done under the sun and all this bullshit," I don't really subscribe to that theory. Because if you wanted to go and eat a nail sandwich, you're eating a nail sandwich. Is that under the sun or whatever you want to do? You know what I'm saying? So they like anything you've conceived or has been done. You get what I'm saying? Like, really? You know what I'm saying? There's no more unique thought and process left in the universe. You know, so, but yeah. That was the last straw. I got into management. My cousin was an artist, and he was dope, and he had some friends, and I wanted to manage them for a couple of years. And I had success managing them, but because I started doing shows for them, because I do have promoter experience. I started getting them shows. I got a meeting with Kevin Lyles, So, and that's when Kevin Lies had just went from Def Jam to Atlantic. And I'm up in the offices. That's when the South was really big. So we had one artist in the camp that had like a Southern draw. So of course, you know, the music industry is about trends and what's hot. So that's the one they wanted to mess with. Nothing manifested from that anyway. But being a manager gave me a lot of tools the average artist doesn't have. So while I was actually out the game, I was really learning the game even more. You know what I mean? As far as my down period. But like I said, I was just fed up with the industry. And then
As an artist?
As
And
an
as a
artist.
manager,
No,
or-
as an artist. That's why I went to management. And then the old industry, to me, was always plagued with ageism. Like, you're too old to do this. You shouldn't be doing that at a certain age. You're not supposed to be doing this and doing that. So, and now I look back, I was like young as shit. I think I was like 23 or 22 or 20. I was 20 something. But back then, they used to make you feel like if you ain't make it by 23 or 24, you was over the hill, hanging the fuck up. You probably remember that era too. Like,
Yeah, of course.
yeah, like
I was-
if you ain't make it by 23, because even when Jay-Z came out as 27, he was considered a dinosaur. That was like extremely old back then for artists to come out. This first was 27. You know,
Well, I got my first break in the charts when I was 32.
see, because you kept going and doing what you had to do. Unfortunately, I subscribed to that mentality, and because I was having these interactions with labels, like I said, the A&M with the rock and roll guitar man, the Universal with the lady, you know what I mean? I think I had some other thing going on. I was just like, man, the hell with this shit. That I tried to take my know-how and put into my cousins and them, because they were like, at the time, they were like 18, 19.
And how did you do with the management side of things?
Like I said, I had success. It taught me how to promote. It taught me how to broker deals. At the time, I was in school. You know what I'm saying? I took some college. And when I did take college, I took like contracts.
Okay.
I like did business contracts. So I was formally, you know what I mean, studied that. You know what I mean? Then I'd also do my self-studying. You know what I mean? I had this book of music. That was big back in the day. I don't know if it was big over here. Like people just trying to get into business. And it was like a big blue book. Like this, almost like a Bible.
Yeah, I know.
And it said this business of music. And so that was like teaching me about publishing, mechanical licensing. It was just like I said, I was really learning the business aspects of it. And when I saw the game changing, that's kind of, it was a whole bunch of other reasons why that didn't work with the managing with them, you know, egos, not my ego, like, you know, some of the artists start feeling like, you know, we should be here at this time. And I'm trying to tell them, this music industry is changing. This ain't about a fly record and all this no more. You know, if I was in the Bronx, that would have been very fucking ugly. But yeah, yo, it ain't all about a fly outfit, a fly picture, and a dope bio. You know, because this is like when you started seeing the independent wave coming. You know what I mean? People releasing their own music on CD Baby, who was early in the game. You know what I mean? People able to...
What was that, around 210?
It may be earlier than that, because I remember I was approached by a guy, I think he was of German descent or some shit. My movement was so strong, because I was, like I said, I was doing clubs and I had these guys all over. I was approached by a guy that back then they called them an aggregator. I never heard of the name. I'm like, an aggregator? He's like, I'm an aggregator. I'm like, what's an aggregator? Which basically back then just meant he was a distributor of digital music. So I had like an inside plug that a lot of people didn't have. And I was telling my artists, like, listen, we need to go about utilizing this aggregator. He's saying he can get us our music on iTunes and all these other platforms, you know what I'm saying? But they just didn't see it. They just didn't see it. And I tried to tell them, so I started releasing my music on my own. And I was telling them how the industry is gonna go. Years later, they're like, oh, you was right. You was right. You was right, Bruce, because they were still chasing the old traditional deal. What it is that some people don't want to do the hard work, because once you have subscribed to the independent way and road, it's in many cases it's a long road. It's a long road, you know what I mean? People want instant gratification. And you're gonna get instant gratification with a record label, but you're also gonna get screwed. You're never gonna, like I say, you're never gonna see the money that you really want even if you're prominent, being paraded in front of the TV and you're doing shows, most of these guys that were signed in the era I was trying to get on ain't start making money till 20, 30 years later when they got out all them badass contracts they gave them in the early to mid 90s.
Yeah. I mean, the one that really gets me is obviously Della. Sorry, not Della, was it Tribe?
Oh yeah, Q-Tip was sleeping on his mom's couch.
Yeah.
I remember he came out and said that Jive really screwed them.
Yeah.
Look at De La.
Yeah.
They got, and I used to love the native tongue.
And nothing really happened until Dave
Passed away right before, right?
You know, how sad was that?
Yeah. But like I said, I know you asked when I said De La Soul, you was like, oh, that's a real big contrast. Yeah, I was a native tongue fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So KRS-One, native tongue. KRS was a native tongue fan.
Yeah.
He used to big him up all the time. It rounded me out as an artist. It rounded me out. And I'll never shy away from bigging those guys up. It just made me out the box and thinking.
What was it like on the streets when you were growing up? I mean, were you seeing, like, you know, we weren't born into hip hop here.
Yeah.
Yeah. In my generation, we weren't born into hip hop.
Yeah.
So we saw the evolution, and we were pioneering the evolution.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we hit the streets, we were doing grass, breakdance, and everything.
Yeah.
You know, but you were pretty much born into it.
Yeah, but we didn't realize we were doing anything.
Right. So that was just normal every day.
That was just normal life. Yeah, like you coming downstairs and guys is popping and locking and shit. We wasn't realizing, yo, this is a culture being built. You know, we doing graffiti, whether it's on the side of the building or in the building. We in the projects
doing that
on the
illegally?
floor. Hell yeah, that's illegal in New York. You just writing on public property. We didn't own the housing authority.
No,
You know
what I mean by were you doing that illegally was, did anybody actually give a shit to go, yo, stop doing that?
Nah, you know, that was that mind your business type of thing going on in New York. I mean, you always had the nosy one, you know, the nosy neighborhood person that would try to call the police. Hey, don't do that. But for the most part, people mind their business in the Bronx. This is the South Bronx. You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna be like, yo, I see you guys. All right, you know, you're gonna keep on living here? If you're gonna keep snitching all this, you plan on moving?
But you know what I find funny though? 30 years later, they're like, yo, do more of that because it makes our house prices go up.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I remember my friends, we used to come with the cardboard boxes and trying to spin it. Yeah, but we didn't, that was just living. We didn't think we was creating anything or like, we were just living what, especially in my neighborhood, we just living the life. Now you got these guys bickering over it because it's become a commodity, you know, and someone that it kills me when someone tries to actually like can and coin hip hop. Like, you can't own that.
You can't.
You can't own it. Even if you used to find a way to, all right, I registered the word, bro. You can't register the culture. Even if you're claiming, you know what I mean? And shouts out to the Hip Hop Museum. I'm affiliated with them. Shouts out to all. I've been
That's
on
in the
records.
Bronx, right?
Yeah, in the Bronx. They've released a record. I was on that record. But it's various museums in different states because there's a museum. I know there's a Washington museum and there's somewhere else because as much as we like to think the world revolves around us, a lot of times what we were doing was being done somewhere else in the country or across the world. It was being done by someone in some type of aspect. You know what I'm saying? So we can't just think like, yo, we that shit. We invented this. We own this. You can't own a culture. You know what I'm saying? You can't own it, bro. It's everybody's. You know what I'm saying? A lifestyle. Yeah, man. So that was it. Like bombing, going out, doing graffitis on wall. We just doing it. We didn't know. We didn't know. And Disco King Mario, rest his soul. I grew up with his daughter, never realized I was his daughter until years later. And they actually had, I think this year was the 4th year tribute concert for them. This year they brought out Brand Nubian. Last year I was the headliner. That was like, to be brought back to the neighborhood, and they brought me out for his ceremony and had me on the flyers and everything. That was dope. That was like their acknowledgement, like, yeah, we see you, Bruce. We see what you're doing for us as far as repping the hood and repping hip hop. So that was dope for me.
Last year we were told it's the 50th year anniversary.
Not in my neighborhood.
But this is what I wanted to find out. So I've heard from other sources that that's not true. 1973, that date that we're given wasn't the date.
I don't know, because in my neighborhood, and the guy that put the programming together to celebrate Barrio, shouts out to DJ FaZe. I was like, you know, you're online, you're like, oh yeah, happy birthday hip hop. He jumps in my DM. Hip hop's 51, it ain't 50. You know what I'm saying? And he starts dropping down the jewels on me. And like I said, as someone that likes to stay in my lane and likes to stay in my place, you're my elder. So that's a fight that I'm not gonna just come in when I wasn't even there. You were there. Even though I may have been there as a kid, I didn't know what the hell was going on. So who am I now? Like, yeah, that's right. It wasn't 50, it's 51. Yo, F hurt, man. It's about what we were doing over here in the South. The hell what was going on in the East Bronx. That's not my place because you guys are like, these guys are like 60, 62, 63. You guys like a generation or more ahead of me. So I'm just like, I'll stay in my lane. But if you ask me, I'm always say I'm from where hip hop started. Yeah. I'm from that cradle, Weber, because you got, if we had a map, we'd have Bronx River Projects here. Let's say this is it. You have Bronx River Projects here, Bronxdale Projects here, Monroe, Castle Hill. It's like almost its own system. But Bronxdale and Bronx River, those are the ones. But the Black Spades originated in Bronxdale. African Bambaataa, he was a member of the Black Spades, a low-ranking member. He was just a regular member, no matter what kind of esteem they want to hold him into now. He approached the Spades and Mario. Mario was a general in the Spades. He just wasn't like a low rank of Spades, and asked permission. This is documented, that he asked permission to spin off and start his own sect, which is known as Zulu Nation. You know what I mean? So that's where a lot of them are saying, nah, we started this is ours. And they claim Herc used to come over to the projects and see what Mario was doing and took it over there. Now, as I'm doing my research, I'm hearing, but now I start seeing pictures. I'm seeing pictures with Herc, with Mario, dressing like Mario. And I'm hearing people saying that Mario was teaching Herc how to dress. Because as much as I'm proud of being a Jamaican and of Jamaican descent, Herc said it on camera himself. He said when he first came, and y'all can research this and see it, when he first came from the islands, he was dressing like, they were laughing at him because he was dressing like, for Black Americans, like, what are you wearing?
I think he said that in the documentary.
Yeah, he said he was wearing shit. And when he started switching up his style of dress, he was emulating Mario. Mario had took him as a friend. So now you see him, Mario with the sheepskin, Herc with the sheepskin. Mario with that big hat that DJ Cassidy wears now on the low. If you look at the hat that they had Super Mario in, look at that hat that the current DJ Cassidy, the guy that now is doing what he's doing. Yeah, you look at the hat. Mario had that hat on, Herc had the hat on. So sometimes the originator, I'm not claiming, I don't start no shit, but sometimes the originator don't get the just due. Sometimes it's the apprentice in the background or whoever the powers that be is that's moving that train. And sometimes the train is so far ahead, we can't derail this shit now. We can't rewrite history. We're 57 years in. It's a worldwide global phenomenon now. How are we gonna change what the rest of the world thinks? You know, and that's why I don't try to take on that battle. I'll give my 2 cents. But then you have some guys that's in the projects like, fuck that shit. We gotta somehow make the whole world change their perspective. It's too far gone, brother, but you can still speak your truth. Yeah. But it's too far gone, brother.
Were you into the music from pretty much birth, or was it something that you kind of picked up on the streets?
My mom was musical minded. I had an uncle that actually had a record that did successful.
Okay.
Like,
that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, I have an uncle. Shouts out to Mark. There's a Jamaican record out there called One Dance. The people may have like, one dance just won't do. And he actually did a reply to it. And for Jamaicans, there was a record store in the Bronx known as Moody Records. But they were like a record store / record label that you just think, oh, this little record store. These dudes is distributing international records. You know what I'm saying? They were distributing international records. So he found success with that. And I know he has something to do with the, remember, this is all as me as a kid, and I'm hearing the family talk about the controversy. Oh, you see that rape, you see them rape Mark, them take their money, they're not giving him credit. That's how the Jamaicans talk. So he got jerked somehow with that record or the remix or some shit. And so he was out there and he did his thing. But like I said, as far as anyone else out the family that was doing music before me, no, not that I recall. The influence is strictly from listening to what my mom was playing, seeing what was going on outside in the neighborhood, and like I said, and just spitting that little rinky-dink song, that rap for my friend, and that just had me going. And it got intense at times. It got times, like I said, where I threw my hands up after dealing with the industry, and I just said, the hell with you guys, and then I wound up coming back.
When I see anything on TV or hear little stories and they mention New Cross, for example, where I was from, it's always like that feeling of like pride.
Yeah.
Like, yo,
we
got the place on the map.
Yeah,
Right?
the
So,
neighborhood pride,
right.
yeah.
And you obviously had that neighborhood pride, because I mean, look at the kind of artists that you've got. Like they are the creators of this.
Yeah. Andre Harrell came out of my neighborhood too. Andre Harrell came out of my neighborhood. He's the former Uptown Records. He passed away, and I remember mentioned him, because a lot of people are old until Alicia Keys. And she was like, yeah, Andre Harrell had us over there in them projects in the Bronx. It was her, I think it was Jodeci. And she's like, yeah, they had the White Castles, so she's describing my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
So how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good that I had people that's instrumental that in building the culture and stuff like that. And when, shouts out to the Hip Hop Museum again, when they brought me out and had me open up for EP&G and NJ Pack, that was a big deal. And I had a lot of the old break dancers. Shouts out to Curtis Blow too. Curtis Blow, he always has a thing with he keeps a close rapport. Because a lot of people don't know Curtis Blow originally started as a B-boy. He was heavy into B-boy breaking and the whole culture.
In the time that we grew up in hip hop, everyone that I knew that was into hip hop tried everything.
Yeah.
We all did.
Yeah.
Graffiti,
But
b-boying.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. As you said to me, as you asked me earlier, as far as did we know, we didn't try it like, let me see where I fit. We were just living.
Just did it.
We were just living, right? Like, that didn't work. Let me try this. Nah, it wasn't like it. It wasn't like that. You know what I mean? And some people, to me now, that's what they're doing. Like, oh, let me try this. Maybe I could come up in this, or maybe I could come up in that. So you just looking for the bag? Because my original inspiration for rapping wasn't, oh, I can get a record deal and become rich and famous. I just liked what I was doing, and I felt it was ordained. I just felt, because like I said, I was totally conscious. So my thing was just spreading consciousness and conscious music and shit.
What I was implying was more that, you know, we as kids, we didn't look at the bag. We didn't look at how much money we're going to make.
That's what I'm saying.
We just went and started spinning on our heads and thought, oh, you know what?
Yeah,
There's
this
other
is
people
dope.
better than
This
us.
is dope.
You know, I'm cool. I'll leave them. Let me try my hand at, I don't know, body popping. That's a bit easy.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And eventually you find your niche, right?
And even,
but now,
yeah,
like you said, people aren't looking at it like I enjoy this or whatever. They're looking at it like, what can I make a career out of?
Yeah, because even with me to this day, even though I'm doing what I'm doing, yeah, I get my shows, I do my thing here and there. It's the legacy for me. It's what I leave behind. You know what I mean? It's just the legacy. Or maybe someone will hear my music one day down the line. Who is this guy? He should have been bigger than what the hell he was. Who is this? Or maybe I'll inspire somebody. But it's never been about the coin with me. It's never been about the coin. It's just been about living through my music when I'm no longer here.
And I think that's...
When I'm no longer here. And my wife, I tell her, she laughing at me. Yeah, you want to be immortal? I said, listen, technically we are. Yeah, any real artist that has laid anything down, because you don't know how someone may discover you in the future. How, what medium, and who the hell is that? And he might want to go research you. And
people still talking about Bob Marley and Hendrix and whoever else.
But like you said, some people are totally driven by the money, the monetary gain, and that was never it for me.
Yeah.
That was never it for me. Yeah. Maybe that's part of the longevity too, because most people, once they feel like, I've been trying this and I ain't been making no money at it,
quit. Do
They
something
quit,
else,
and
yeah.
that separates the ones that succeed a lot and the ones that don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's with any business. If you have a passion for it and you have the determination, it might be 10 years before you see a.
And I know people that have made 15 albums that don't make any money from it.
Yeah.
And never have, but they don't care. They still work and then put the money into making the vinyl.
That's what they
and
like to do.
That's what they do.
Who I'm gonna tell you to stop doing what you like to do?
Yeah.
Or yo, that's stupid. You're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Maybe they just enjoy being in music and being a creator.
Yeah.
It ain't for them to get to the big level and the big shine and the big blah 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 blah. Me even coming back to music, and that's why certain things you wonder if it's a greater power at work, because I pretty much once I started throwing live shows for my artists. Why? Because we got frustrated. We used to go to places and be like 30 acts, and they bringing us on like number 29, number 30. We did all fucking night. And I remember the straw that broke the camel's back, and we was there all night. And I said, you know what? I'm the manager. I said, fuck, we ain't doing this no more. I'm gonna put on my own show. And everybody looked at me like, oh my God, he's crazy. How you gonna do that? Because everything is so beyond for people. Like how? So I did my research, I learned. Did it go well the first couple of go-arounds? No, you're in the learning process. But the point is, I did. And it equipped me with a lot of tools that other people don't have. So my brother, right? Yeah, I had all this old music. I still got all my reel-to-reels, man. All that stuff stashed in the garage and all that. But getting back to the music, my brother, who's an artist himself, shouts out to Fam Illy, Afro what's up. He was like, yo, he said, you got all that old music, why don't you put that music out? I was like, no, I'm happy being a manager. No, because I stopped the manager. I said, no, I'm happy just being like a promoter, like, because I throw my shows, I have my fun, I'm chilling. Listen, I mean, no, that's actually how I met Papoose originally. Not in the artist space. I met him in the promoter space. I met him. I had the show locked in with Remy before she shot her friend. I never divulged that on camera. So you're the first one to hear that. When she shot her friend, I was the only promoter that had her lined up for a show. I used to work with Violator. As I said, I've done so much, then I start talking, it starts coming out. Right, anyway, but so he's like, why don't you put out your old music? I was like, man, I got no time for that shit. I'm happy not being an artist.
That's the best space to be in it.
I was like, I'm happy not being an artist. And he was like, nah, man, put that shit out. And so I forgot exactly what song I put out. And the shit had a phenomenal response, right? And I was like, oh, here I go again. You know that shit they say, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. You know what I'm saying? And so I had the first album. I did an EP with all the old stuff. That's what it was. I did an EP. I only had like six songs, and these songs are all recording back. Because the thing with Sean Price is probably like, the first time I worked with Sean was probably like 2014. 2014 is the first time I worked with Price, right? But the music that I put out was like songs that was done in like, no lie, man, like 97, 98. Yo, this is the time span. We talking about 97, 98, 2014.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I'm putting out songs that I made in the 90s in 2014. And the shit was just hitting. The response to it was just, people just was loving it. And so that's not to say, you know what, I'm gonna make an album. And I remember I had a song called Beast Inside. Like I said, I was doing promoting. And this was back when guys used to still go to clubs and hand out flyers. You know what I'm saying? So I was at a club in Brooklyn. I forgot the name of the club exactly. And Duck Down was there. It was like a mixture of Duck Down artists, and I bumped into Sean Price. It was like a natural. It wasn't like, yo, what up, Sean? You know what I mean? It was packed, but I remember that they had a bar, and the football game was on. And I'm sitting there, and I'm watching the game. I was a big Giants fan back then. And we talking, and I'm not realizing, because I'm in the zone. And I'm here, Sean Price is right here. And we both rooted for the Giants and shit. And I was like, oh shit. So we started talking, and Sean Price, whatever. So that was our first meeting. And then when I started releasing music, we had this platform called Forbes DVD. And I was always like having my stuff thrown on there. I used to have my stuff thrown on Vlad too when it was early in the game before he just became pure corporate and left indies alone. And I was like, damn, I need someone on this record. And I saw some Sean Price shit. And I was like, you know what, let me reach out to Sean Price. And I reached out to him. I got his number. I don't know how the hell I get his number. And I was like, I called him. He picked up. I said, yo, what's up, Sean? He said, what's up, Batman? Well, I don't know, because this is the industry, is a funny industry. You don't know who is watching you or for how long they've been watching you. This is the thankless game. No one's reaching out to me. That was a dope track, Bruce. Yeah. I've been watching you for 5-6 years behind the scenes. This guy's been watching me all this time. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I seen the shit you had on Forbes DVD. He actually thought I was from Brooklyn because the video had a Brooklyn Nets jacket on. Okay. So he initially thought I was from Brooklyn. He's like, yeah, you from Brooklyn, right? I saw the video. I said, nah, I'm from the Bronx. He's like, oh. So listen. He's like, oh. Like, you know, because these Brooklyn guys, man. Shouts out Brooklyn. You know, I went to school in Brooklyn, too. Metro Tech. I went to school around there. So I was like, nah, I'm from the Bronx. He's like, what part of the Bronx? I'm like, Soundview. He's like, oh, my wife's father-in-law's from around there. So now I was good again. I was in his good graces again. You know what I'm saying? I was in his good graces again because I was his wife's father was from that area. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we did the first record, Beast Inside. That's the first record I did with him. The second record, Venom, which almost didn't happen with him on it, because when we did Beast Inside, he was supposed to make the music video and he didn't. He didn't. The very day of, I spoke to him early that morning. We spoke before that, and then I spoke to him after. He's like, yo, I was like, yo, what happened? He was like, yo, he said he had got into something with his significant other. I'm not going to expand on it. Through his phone got shattered, whatever. And it got confirmed by her later down the line, right? And so here comes Venom. Venom was only really supposed to be me and Chris Rivers. And I was like, this is missing somebody. I want another artist on here. But when you're dealing with a certain type of hip hop, it's kind of slim pickings in New York. Keith came across my mind. I was like, yeah, Keith Murray, who I worked with in the past. Shouts out to Keith Murray on Home of the Spitters. Also had him host a few mixtapes for me. Also brought him out to shows. What up, Keith? It's the Batman. But yeah, so I thought about Keith for a second, and then Sean Price seen something again, so I called him. I was like, Sean, I got this record, but you know, lad, you ain't made. He started, oh, you know, man, I apologize to you for that already, man. And he's like, yo, and one of the things he said to me, I don't know if it was that conversation or another conversation, and that's when he had the title of Mr. Don't Give a Fuck. And we were speaking and he said, yo, Bruce, I respect you. I respect what you do. And not too many people I'll say that to, you know what I mean? So, cause, yeah, man. So anyway, I was like, yeah, man, I got this record. He's like, yo, that's crazy. I'm about to go to the studio right now. Like literally, the cab is on its way. I'm about to go to the studio right now. So he gave me the email. I sent him the record. He's like, who else is on the record? I said, Chris Rivers is on it. He's like, oh. You know, Chris is a beast. So I guess he took a pause. Like, do I still want to be on this record? No one wants to be outshined and shit, right? So I emailed it to him. He said, yeah, I got the email. Now, all this is like taking place like 2, 3 in the afternoon. Yo, I'm chilling. My phone goes off. It's like 2 in the morning. I wasn't even gonna pick that shit up. I picked it up. Yo, it's Sean, it's done. Yo, like 18 fucking hours later, it's Sean, it's done. I was like, all right. So he sent me over the session. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, this shit is fire. I was like, yeah, we're gonna get that, we're gonna stitch it together. And once I get the finished product, I'm gonna shoot it your way. Because he already liked what I said, because I had sent my verse already. I'd sent my verse and he already heard. And I said, I ain't trying to hide the verses from him. You know what I mean? Like, hell, this is what it is. This is what we doing. You know what I mean? And I remember I was in Manhattan. I was in Harlem doing something. This had to be like 5 days, if that, later. And I have a friend that used to help me out with my shows and my promotions. Shouts out to Kate. And he was like, yo, you heard what happened to Sean? And I was like, what you talking about? And I was like, yo, he said, yo, Sean Price died. Yo, And that shit sent a chill through me. You know what I'm saying?
I can feel it right now.
Yeah. It sent a chill through me because we spoke on the phone a lot. And he had a love for me. You know what I mean? Like, people outside that don't ever understand that. Not even his own wife, because we used to speak. But, you know what I mean? So sometimes when people pass away, the people around them don't realize. So they'll want things. And if they don't get it, they'll that's a whole other shit. But, so he already sent the song to me. I had it. And when he passed away, you already know the shit sent shockwaves and everything. And everyone was requesting that anything that was done with him get sent back.
Why?
And I ain't sending it back. I said, why am I sending that back? That's something that we did together. I'm going to send it back so you could use it on whatever project you're using that for. So that caused a little rift with certain people. But I'm still good. You get what I'm saying? So I held on to that. I didn't release the shit to damn near like 7 months later. When he first passed away, all these people just releasing music. Sean Price feature. Hip hop is a thing of trend. It's fucked up when your death is a trend, and your death is a come up. You get what I'm saying? Your death is a come up. So Matt Miller releasing shit. These people releasing shit. I'm like, yo, the man ain't even been dead 2 weeks, and I'm chilling, sitting on the record. He never heard the finished record. So, and I shouts out to Video Music Box and Ralph McDaniels. Ralph McDaniels hosted my album release party for that album that had that song, the Earl Madigo, the rap. We had the album release party, and Ralph McDaniels hosted it. And I sent him the record. And he said, who else has heard this record? I said, no, not too many people. He's like, are you crazy? He said, you got to get these records to these DJs. He said, just send them, just keep. So I was just emailing the fuck out of DJs. And DJ Clips reached out to me. Shouts out to DJ Clips, shouts out to Nonfiction. DJ Clips reached out to me and was like, yo, I want you to come to the halftime show. I don't know if you ever heard of the halftime show. They're a legendary hip hop show. So I came down there. He had me spit. First we talked a little. People want to know you certified. Like, is this guy a fluke? So he gave me the treatment, spitting over like 7, 8 beats, scratching, going crazy, seeing if he gonna trip me up and shit. So I guess I passed the torture chamber. So I'm chilling this shit, and like about 2 weeks later, I get a call. Yo, what you doing? I want to bring him to the Sirius, to the big station, Sirius Radio. You know what I mean? So he brought me to Sirius Radio. We did the interview. He dropped the record, and it was just like a firestorm of people that it just hit. You know what I mean? It just hit. But I'd rather the man still be here because we had plans. He's like, yo, we're going to get this money together. We're going to do these shows together. That would have been more beneficial for him to still be here than, oh, yeah, you on one of my most known records. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather him be here. You know what I'm saying? And he was a good guy. You know what I'm saying? So that's how Venom came about, and that pretty much just popped everything back off. Like, I'm really stuck in this shit now. I just was happy being this promoter. Damn you, my brother, damn you. But things happen for a reason, because if I'd have never came back, that record would have never happened.
So would you say that track that you did with Sean Price was possibly the last ever track you recorded?
Yes. And anybody that wants to dispute that, they can step up to bat anytime they want. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure all artists have stuff in the vault. I got stuff in the vault. I, God forbid, passed away right now. Somebody could probably tack together 2 albums from what I got in the vault. Whether it's songs that ain't released or mixtapes or whatever. These are emails. These are emails that I still have. Not that I have them printed out or nothing, but nothing gets deleted on the internet. Like, I could go to my inbox right now and just type Sean Price. And you'll see all the shit pop up from the email interaction, the time he's setting back the sessions, and you can see that, and you can just see, if it's not the last, it's among the last. That's all I can say. Because I know that they was having an event that Sunday. There was an event going on that Sunday. I don't know if it was SOB. It was some shit that he was involved with. And I think right after that is when he passed away. I mean, it was like this. And no one's ever within the circle or within whatever approached and disputed anything. Like, yo, nah, that's not correct and accurate.
Have you worked with any members of the boot camp clique at all? Rusty Jokes, any other?
Nah, shouts out to Rusty Jokes. I met Rusty. I met Rockness.
Yes.
I met him on a few occasions. Shouts out to Rockness, cool dude. I've met Rim. I met Illa G, which of course Illa G's in the video. And it's funny because when I told you I was doing promotion, I had set up a show and brought out Buckshot, and that was dope. Like, he came down and killed it. Did Who Got the Props and all type of shit. And at the time, Who Got the Props was like a record for some reason. He didn't like to perform no more. And like, he finished up his set and everybody was like, who got the props? So he was forced to do the record. He did this shit about 3 times because we wouldn't let him stop doing it.
Can I just take this like little opportunity just to say, right, Rusty Jokes came to my place. We done the interview and everything.
Yeah.
Reliable as anything.
Yeah.
Hard working.
Yeah.
Consistently on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, seriously, blew me away. The whole personality, everything.
Yeah.
And much like yourself, like, you've been on my case, like, you need to come to London, you need to come and do this and whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And I wasn't able to make it. And then just by pure coincidence, we bump into each other.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, but the fact that you were on my case, you know, and it was just chance that I happened to be here doing something else on the same day that you were just walking in the same area. I mean, that's a bit of a godsend, right?
Definitely.
And so what I'm trying to say is, like, in your neighborhood, from the people that I've met, I just see a work ethic. I see like it's survival mode almost. Like, I need this, I gotta have this, blah blah blah.
But it's a certain thirst and it's like an unquenchable thirst, and it's not for money. It's almost like you're in the pursuit of, not to be corny, like perfection. It's just like you and the music and the rap and the rhyme and I'm gonna show you motherfuckers I'm the one. You know what I'm saying? It's the competitive in you too. It's the competitor in you. You know what I mean? And I do so much. When you do a lot as an artist and you're not just wearing an artist hat, like, I wear multiple hats. So a lot of times I'm like, yo, I need to sit back and re-memorize these 20 rhymes in my head. You know what I'm saying? Because the more you put into other things you're doing, the more you're kind of like going away from that nature. Like, I don't want to be caught slipping. I got to stop bullshitting. Let me go take the next 3 days to go memorize these 30 rhymes over. You know what I'm saying? Which we know is impossible. You know what I'm saying? But you never want to get caught with your drawers down. Yes. Even though I know I just had the show. So I'm like on the plane and shit with my headphones on, trying to memorize these 20 freestyles I've done in the past. You know what I'm saying? But there's definitely some type of, I don't know how to describe it.
But I feel there's something different there, you know, like something that makes you want to keep going.
Yeah.
What,
I'm gonna keep. Oh, it's no timeline on myself. You know, even when I had the interview with the Clays, like, so you back for real now, or you just? I said, no, I'm back. I said, don't get me wrong, I might take a break in between albums and songs, but one thing I learned about the Beast, as someone I worked with in a publicist capacity, was saying, he's like, remember, you gotta always feed the beast. You can't take too long away from the beast. So, don't, you know, certain artists have the privilege of doing 2 years, no music, 3 years, no music. I don't feel I have that privilege. So I won't go in between that, whether it's a project or just somehow I'm gonna be involved in some shit. You know what I mean? Even if it's just me going and doing the show from time to time, it's not gonna be like, yo, he ain't doing a show in 5 years. He ain't doing a show in 3 years. You know what I mean? We all get tired of the politics and behind it. You know what I mean? But sometimes, listen, man, I need that smell of stale cigarettes and beer and the underground and the vibe and even seeing other artists kill it. You know what I mean? I gotta get on my shit. Dude was nice.
Talking of nice, you mentioned Papoose, you mentioned Keith Murray. Those are people that you've worked with.
Yeah, I think I worked with some Lions because I'm very selective. It wasn't like I just wanted to work with certain people just because, yo, let me just work with certain people. Because if that's the case, it would just be about reaching out to someone's management, or how much they want for the feature, and all this other bullshit. I was strategic in what I was doing because I wanted to work with lions. I worked with lions. Keith Murray's a lion.
Yeah, I'm good.
You know what I mean?
What a
Papoose
character.
is a fucking lion. Sean is a lion. Christopher's a lion. I worked with lions and I came out the den looking okay.
So there's one lion you haven't worked with, and that's me.
Who you?
I'm a lion, innit?
I know you're lying because you fucking spit that rhyme to me that night.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, Blade is vicious. So that's the type of guy I like to work with, people that's gonna bring that, oh, this is what we doing?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Rah, you start transforming, motherfucker.
Listen, when your life, like even if you're not doing it, and
Yeah.
every time you do something, you do it like your life depends on it.
That's what I'm saying. And I learned that from Sean too. And that's why, like, a lot of times when you hear me featuring on records, I don't want to give away my secrets, I'm visualizing all type of shit inside my head. I'm not visualizing me sitting across the table from another rapper. I'm visualizing me sitting across the table from God. And I got to impress God. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the least of my worries, rapper. I'm trying to impress fucking the creator of the universe, even or whoever the atheists believe in or don't believe in. You know what I'm saying? That's the bar I set. I'm trying to fucking make a wind blow through the fucking living room as I'm writing. Stop that shit you're doing. All right, you got my attention, Bruce. You got my attention, all right? Shit.
You know, I quite often ask this question to a lot of artists, but I'm kind of picky about the artists I choose to ask. But I'm going to ask you, do you feel the industry's treated you fairly? Do you think even other artists have treated you fairly?
I don't know. I think I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Okay.
Because no one's earned anything. I mean, not earned anything, but no one gets anything handed to them.
Yes, there's no entitlement.
You have to, yeah. So I could be mad. Oh, I should be bigger. I'm nicer than this one. I'm better than this one. I played the hand, the deck I was this was dealt is what I played. You know what I'm saying? Why did I take over damn near a 10-year hiatus before I came back? Reluctantly came back through my brother. And the first thing was Beast Inside with Sean. And then that album, that was gonna be my last album. I have an album out known as the Dark Knight album, The Day the Earth Stood Still. And if you listen to the album, I pretty much say I'm not doing this anymore at the end. Because I thought the fact that everyone liked the records I released, I thought it was like divine intervention. Like, yeah, all right, this is gonna be the album, I'm gonna kill him.
Okay,
and I didn't get the response I wanted.
Okay,
so I'm done. Make
Okay.
another one, and then the second one.
so let me
What's
ask
on
you.
the second album? A Venom.
Right, but let me ask you something. So, you're an artist. You put an album out, and you're hoping to get a certain reaction. You don't get that reaction. Are you going to try and come and make another album to get that reaction, or
I obviously did.
right?
I
but
made
now
like
I'm
two
saying-
more after that.
But now I'm saying, if you got that reaction, would you have walked away,
Nah. But you see that.
or would you have got more
but
greedy?
you
But I
see-
want that again.
But see, but the reaction I wanted was not really monetary, like money.
Yeah, forget money.
It
I'm
just
not talking
wanted.
money.
I just wanted motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Who the
I'm not
fuck?
talking money.
Who the fuck is this guy? That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Like, who the fuck is this guy? And why are we just hearing about him? And why we didn't know about this guy for years? Like, who passed? Who passed on this guy? Who was the clown that passed on this guy? Because, like I said, I was walked in the A&R's offices, and they wanted to make me other things.
Right, and by the way, when I say treated fairly, and I'm not talking money, I'm not talking material, I'm not talking none of that. I'm talking about, like, as an artist, when you make your music and the art is genuine in you, you just want to stand on stages and perform. You just want to hit studio.
I think I've been overlooked by certain people. I'm not going to call them out here.
Okay.
But I think there's certain people, and now certain people will try to come back. Because one thing eventually you learn about someone is work ethic. When you see someone progressing, I'm totally independent. You know what I mean? Totally independent. I've been every state. I've been to the UK on my own. Before I came here, this is like my 4th or 5th time here. I got over here without a label. I got out here just by a promoter hearing me online. It was like, yo, this dude is dope. Reached out to me. You want to come to London? Who is this? Is this a joke? And he flew me out. Hotel, airfare. Me and my wife. I'm in Carnival.
Yeah, you did Carnival a couple of years back, right?
That's what I said. No label, no nothing.
Yeah.
And I remember the last time I did it was 2022. I did 2018, 2019, 2022, and I'm here. So that's 4 times.
I think I've seen footage of one of them.
Yeah.
2022.
But that's what I'm saying. No label involved, no nothing. Just the power of the internet and people seeing. And I remember I was talking to this particular promoter. I think it was like, I don't know if it was the 2019 one, because then the pandemic came and fucked up 2020 and 2021.
Yeah.
You know, and he said, he looked at me, Bruce. I'm like, what's up, man? I'm chilling, drinking my rum punch. He's like, you know who's out here besides you? I said, who? He said, Jungle Brothers. He said, but you know what's the difference? I said, what? He said, you out here on, he said, you got out here on your own, motherfucker. He said, like trying to say, no label, no previous label, no golden act.
No PA,
just,
no nothing. Just
so he just put that into perspective. And it's funny because I had an interview with a radio station, and was it a radio station? Well, I had a recent interview, and the guy was like, "Oh, so you ever been to London before?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've been to Carnival." And he paused. He said, "You been to Carnival?" He said, "Do you know how lucky you are that you've been to Carnival and performed the Carnival?" You see, you know how many artists want to do that? I said, "All right, you know, like, all right, all praises due to the Most High, you know." So he saw that as a milestone too, for somebody to come over, totally not affiliated with a label, not affiliated with a certain clique, not being brought over by so and so, like, because you know they love to package rappers together, you know. So it just spoke volume, man.
Well, let me put that into perspective for you for a second. What your friend just said. I have a friend who lives on the road. The carnival happens.
Yeah.
He's an artist. He's well known in the area.
Yeah.
And he's been there for over 28 years.
Yeah.
And he's never been asked to perform at the carnival.
Oh.
And they all know him. They all know he's good.
Mm.
He's never been asked.
Yeah. Well, that's
So imagine you got asked.
man. Thank you. Put that perspective. Yeah. So it's a big deal, but I never take it for granted.
And you know how I know that? Because on
never-
the way up here,
yeah.
I was on the phone to him and he reminded me
That what?
about him never performing at the carnival.
Shit. Yeah, Carnival's right around the corner.
He's looking out of his window and he can see it. Right?
Yo.
It's right there, that's the road.
Well, I don't know. If I was him, I'm a different animal. I'd have set up my own shit. Fuck you guys. Y'all ain't booking me. I'm booking myself.
Yeah.
I'll be right out there like this among the feathers. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man.
What you got going on now? I mean, so you're still recording.
Still
Are
recording.
you still doing any management, any other stuff?
No,
like
I'm not doing. I'm
promotions?
not in no type of management. Promotions, no, unless I'm promoting myself.
Okay. How are you with social media?
My social media is cool. You know what I mean? It's, my social media, I think I'm very savvy. I picked up on it.
Okay.
You know, and I know how to market myself on social media and get my messaging out there. Okay. As far as any new releases or any upcoming shows, I think I do a pretty good job at that.
Right, so you always start your conversation with "Stop your bumper cloud crying."
Yeah.
What's all that about?
And
Break
then
it down.
I don't know, because now everybody that meets me, that's the first thing they say to me, "Stop your bumper clot crying. Stop your blood clot crying." You know? I was reading somewhere in marketing, they said, you got to do things to separate yourself.
Yeah.
And they said even such as taking a catchphrase
Yeah.
could separate you. You know, and it's true because I have the Instagram and Facebook fan. They DM me or they'll put underneath my story, "Stop your blood clot crying, Bruce," and start laughing. And yes, as I said, I'm Jamaican, so you already know blood clot. But but I'm not someone that's not gonna be a victim of plagiarism. Because yes, I did hear Biggie say that shit in that song. I heard Biggie say that. "Stop your blood clot crying." I forgot exactly what song he said it in, but Biggie said it. So I'm gonna give all praises due to the originator. But yes, I took it and I ran with it. Only thing I didn't do yet was the shirts, but which I need to do. But I ran with it, and Even Simba, he used it on me like 3 times a day. Up your blood crying, Bruce. Shouts out to Simba too, man. Shouts out to Trailblazers.
Yeah.
Pain in the ass.
I'm keeping that in there.
Keep it.
That in there.
He knows he is.
So what else have you got lined up? I mean, are you going to be back to do any more shows, any more tours?
As long as these promoters come to their senses and realize the Bruse Wane show is a dope show. But as far as I'm gonna be in Vegas on the 30th, which is right around the corner, I fly out Saturday, so that's like boom. I've actually had the privilege of meeting a few other people while I've been out here, and they talking some stuff. But you know, it's only talk. It's only talk until that deposit gets made. But shouts out to them. So everything's opportunity. So it was a nice show. Like I said, chilled with the fans, met some promoters. They're talking big. Let's see what happens. Hopefully I come back to the UK. I love coming here. You know, it's just a different feeling when I'm over here for me. You know what I mean? It's just something about the UK I like. As far as what I got coming up, I got the mixtape that's going to be getting released probably next week. Should have been coming out. I got the Darth Wayne album that's going to be coming up. Should have been coming. Three songs away. Maybe Blade will bless one of them songs. Because Your Peoples is already on one of the remixes. Shouts out to Kool Keith.
Oh shit! You know what?
He's on the remix, the Paradigm Shift.
You know,
and one of the promotional people that did the show. Shouts out to DJ Sin that helped with the show, helped getting it promotionally off the ground. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was saying that I got 3 songs left for the album. You can jump on. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. I want to rhyme with the beast.
I'm
this
there.
Blade.
Let me know.
Let's go. And I told you I got the Kool Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the dude that promoted the show, helped promote the show, he loved this song called Paradigm Shift. He actually had me change the set just to have the fucking song on there. And that's the song that Keith is on. The song's ridiculous. But shouts out to Kool Keith once again. I'm three songs away from the album being completed, so I want to release it this year. And hopefully come back to the UK and do some shows with that song. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, we got people talking big. But until...
Well, you know what? I was actually on a call today to one of my friends who I'm doing something with. Something I promised a few years ago, and we'll get around to getting to it, but I'm delaying it because I've got things going on, mainly filming, editing, and all kinds of stuff constantly. But what I said to him was, I've already told everybody, don't ask me for features anymore, I'm done.
Yeah.
But I'm going to make an exception for this.
Yeah, because the Pain in the Ass said, why don't you and Blade do something together? Pain in the Ass, Simba,
You know,
said, why don't you and Blade do something together? Because other than him saying that, I would have said it, because you kind of made that quite clear to me too. We spoke one time, he said, I don't do features no more. I wasn't going to ask. Yeah. He said it, so I said, why not? Hey, let's do something, you know.
Yeah, but it's different. You go Kool Keith on there, and
he's like, you got Kool Keith for the album,
well,
so you know that.
Not only that, it's like me and Kool Keith said, gee, we used to talk on the phone back in the days in the 90s and everything, and we talked about doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it never happened.
Yeah.
Like circumstances, whatever, never happened. So here's an opportunity, right?
Yeah, maybe I can get you on that particular
I can't
track.
go to my grave without having my voice on a record with Kool Keith. And it's a bonus that you're there as well. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why not?
So maybe I'll put you on the remix then.
Yeah, whatever.
Because I had another guy beg to be on the remix. Beg me. I ain't gonna put him on blast. Come on, Bruce. Yeah. I was like, bro, because once I had Keith, I said, there's no need for no one else. Who the hell I'm putting on here? It's me and Kool Keith. Let's do this. You know what I'm saying?
You know, when we were speaking, you said something to me about sort of like, almost like bad luck follows you in some way.
I don't know if it's bad luck. I said it, but I said like...
But that's not the way you said it. I forget how you said it.
Yeah, I said it, but I said it kind of jokingly because I forgot what we was talking about, and I was like, R.I.P. about me dealing with Sean and untimely passing along.
Right.
And it was someone else, a DJ K. Slade.
That's the one I wanted to get to now.
Yeah, I met Slade through a mutual friend. Shouts out to Bouncer. His name is Bouncer. Shouts out Bouncer. And he felt I was dope, and he brought me over to Slade. And Slade brought me up to his radio show, and I did my thing. Then, of course, when Slade knew I already had Slade didn't know I had already had a rapport with Papoose. So being that I already had a rapport with Papoose, that was already a good look. So that's also someone that it was supposed to be things that life left him and left things on the table. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I meant. Like, damn, what's going on, bro? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that was pretty much it. And I had a guy, the rap review. The rap review used to be really big with reviewing albums, online publication. And he had reviewed Earl Matter Go to Rap. And I'm reading the review and shit. Earl Matter Go to Rap is the one that Venom appears on. And he's like, oh yeah, he's talking about Venom. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah. He's like, he got Sean Price on the record, who passed away untimely, and he said, he goes, oh, and another chilling factoid. Chris Rivers is on there, whose father. I'm like, what's he trying to say? I'm like the Tombstone rapper. Like, if I fucking do this feature with you and you pass away, I'm coming to the afterlife, but I'm gonna say, motherfucker.
No, if I pass away, I'm coming back to haunt you.
Don't do that. Peace, brethren. You know what I mean? Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. Appreciate you loading that music. I appreciate it. Yeah, man. But that's it. Like, but for the guy to pick up on that in the review, he said another chilling factoid. I said another, like who am I? The guy that once you work with him, your life's in danger. And I met Punt.
Yeah.
I met Punt. It was one of. Bro, you walk right in front of the camera, man.
Is this September?
And it's on. You're gonna put your hand in. You walk right in front of the camera. This is on, bro. It's all love, but this is on. We're actually filming.
It's love.
Okay.
I didn't know, but you're
still doing it. You're still putting your hand up.
It's all good. Don't worry. It's all good. Don't worry.
You're still putting your hand up. I don't get it. You know what I mean? But this is live right now. Like everything we do.
Let's talk. Let's talk.
Let's talk, brother. What way I do?
No, leave it, bro. Leave it.
Yeah. But as I was saying, what the hell was I saying?
Don't die on me.
Yeah, I was basically saying don't die on me if we do the feature.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I don't get it, bro. I met Pun years ago. My uncle, I used to hang out with my uncle, and he had a bar in the Bronx called the Bronx Progressive Club, and he called me up. He's like, yo, what you doing? These rappers are doing a video shoot. You want to come through? So he didn't say who they were. So I said, yeah, because we used to hang out anywhere. I would came whether it was a rappers doing it or not. At the time, I was rapping, doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? And I got there, I'm chilling at the bar. Next thing I know, I see Big Pun, Fat Joe, Showbiz from Showbiz and AG coming through the club and shit. I was like, you ain't telling me you had the whole this going on. He's Jamaican, he don't know. I don't know, just some rappers to me. So when the opportunity came, because you don't want to look like a fool, they doing the video, or Diddy even came, Diddy was on the hook. And that's when they had the reel. He came with the hook, they had the reel and shit. And I just said, yo, man, I said, I'm an artist myself. I don't want to freestyle for you or nothing like that. You know what I mean? I just want to know what inspired you to keep going. He was like, yo, better be known than unknown. And he dropped a few lines, and that was it. And for me to be working with his son 20-something years later, you know what I mean? It was just like, wow. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, wow. It felt like I came full circle. You know, it felt like I came full circle. And then when I first met Chris, he never knew that. And then we was on the video shoot to Venom. You know what I mean? And I told him, and he just stopped. And he said, yo, when I first met Chris Rivers, he just stopped and he paused. He said, yo, he said, I didn't even know that. He said, the fact that you met my father made this even more special. Because he was already hyped, like, yo, damn, it's messed up, Sean's died, but we're going to do this for Sean. But when he knew that, he learned that I met his father 20 years previous, it was just like, yeah, brother, this is crazy. That's why sometimes I feel like some of the things I'm doing is like divine.
Yeah, synchronicity.
Divine intervention, you know what I'm saying?
Obviously, rest in peace, Tino XL.
Yeah.
You know, he passed away recently.
One of the great lyricists of this thing that we do.
You know, I said it in a recent interview, and I'll say it again now. Like, when I heard his album, Best Carpenter, right? By the time the album was finished, I'm sitting there with Rakim's name on one piece of paper and Tino XL on another. Again, who's my favorite? That's how deep it was. I always knew Chino was sick, but I've always said to myself, Rakim's the greatest.
Chino is sick, but then I agree that Rakim's the greatest. I mean, is sick. You know, I like Rakim. I like, you know, I'm one of them guys that come from that Mount Rushmore to four. You know what I mean? The Rakim, the Big Daddy Kane,
Yeah, of course.
the
Big
Cool
Daddy
G
Kane,
Rap.
and, yeah,
You know?
Kool Keith,
And then the fifth is like, you know, and one guy told me,
KRS,
I was in an interview with K Slay, and he said, "Who's your fifth?" And I forgot who I named. I said, "I never thought." And he said, "What about Slick Rick?" I said, "Slick." He got mad because he felt Slick Rick was number 5. R.I.P. Slay, and I love you, Slick Rick, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if I would put Slick Rick in my top 5.
Yeah, but he did. Then I wound up seeing him with about like 1,000 pictures with Slick Rick. I was like, no wonder, motherfucker.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought Slick Rick was sick, the best storyteller there was, right?
Yeah.
Or there is. But I was into different kind of rhyming rather than just the storytelling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
More intricate.
Yeah.
To me, even though he was rhyming and not to overly critiquing Slick Rick, I'm more like intricately woven.
Intricate and
out the box.
a bit more
I
aggressive.
didn't expect to hear that.
A bit more
like
aggressive.
you got me like You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was just a bit more aggressive. But talking a bit more aggressive as well, Percy P.
Oh yeah, shouts out to Percy P. That's my man Percy P. Both from the Bronx. We're on a song together, Everywhere. That was produced by Easy Mo B. Had a hand in that production. So it's dope. It's dope.
See,
And,
that's another guy I feel has been slept on.
yeah, definitely. Percy P. is very skilled, and that's a guy that I feel that should be held in high regard as far as lyricism and longevity. Because Percy's been in the game longer than like De La Soul and shit.
Do you think some of it is potential fear from other artists that he's basically better than them?
I don't know if it's fair. I don't know if he's been blacklisted or blackballed because it happens in this game. I don't know if Percy rubs someone wrong or outshines somebody, but the possibility is definitely there. Because when you look at someone that lyrically creative, you wonder what's going on. You wonder what's going on. But let's be fair, and I love you, Percy. Percy P only had one album in 30 years. So it's sometimes is it work ethic or is it blackball? You get what I'm saying? Some people are single artists and you have album artists.
I hear what you're saying, but there are people.
And I've had this conversation with him, Percy, to him.
Okay,
Like, yo,
I
bro,
hear-
like how you only have one album in 30
I
years?
hear what you're saying, but there are also people that have been put in that position of greatness when they've only done one big single and nothing else.
That's true too.
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill.
And Percy's done more than they have.
Yeah, Lauryn Hill is that type of person
You get what
because
I'm
no
saying?
matter how much they want to hold her and regard as an R&B or a Jamaican singer, she first and foremost came in broken as a rapper.
Yeah.
And she's still running around 30 years later, eating off of that or doing what she's doing. But no shade on Percy. Like I said, I think he's dope. That's my man. I had no problem telling other artists they're dope or saying they're dope. It doesn't take anything away from me. And this is someone I worked with and someone I respect. But Percy P is such a humble person that even if he felt he was blackballed, he wouldn't like call names and start saying that. Percy P is like, if you ever met him, he's one of them like real humble. He's not like an aggressive guy. His lyrics and him are like, you'll listen like, who the hell is that? And you meet him and he's like, hey man, how you doing? Yo, boy. You're like, huh? Speak up a little bit. I hear you. Like, put some bass in your voice. You know what I mean? I don't know if you ever met him, but that's how he is.
Yeah.
That's his personality. But once you get on that microphone, it's
He's
terror
dangerous.
it's terror to the era.
Dangerous.
It's terror to the era, baby.
Like the flows. Oh my God.
Yeah, I've seen him at work. It's a very intricate process. A very intricate process. You know, he does his thing. Shouts out to my man Percy.
Definitely.
Glad you brought him up.
Yeah, I had to,
Because I
man.
forgot
There was
about
no
him.
way. There was
Oh
no
yeah,
way.
shouts out to Mantronic as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just shouts out to Curtis Mantronic. I had the privilege of working with him and currently affiliated him. He's doing a little downtime right now, making new beats. I'm pretty sure he'll be back soon, and I'll probably be on some of them productions. But I met Mantronic in the Netherlands. We spoke about working. I reached out to him, gave him a little, yo, what's up, remember? And then he sent me some beats, and we did 3 bangers together, Money Talks, Doves Cry and Era of the AI. That was all well received publicly. Did great numbers on YouTube. Actually, the DJ snuffed me last night at the show. He snuffed me as far as putting on one of the tracks. I'm like done, like wrapping up. Like, yeah. Or so he throws a song on which I don't freaking know the lyrics to like that because I don't perform it that often. And I'm like this, I got in the house, like, yeah, I'm fucking up. Like, I just owned up to it. You know, the people don't know you fucking up sometimes until you say it. But I was fucking up so bad, I was like, I'm fucking up, man. Why you did that to me? So I turned that off. Like, so I telling the DJ, you know you snuffed me, right? He starts laughing. Like, yeah, I wanted to hear that. I wanted to hear that.
Who was DJ?
It was Crooks.
Okay.
Crocs. I don't know if
Crocs,
I'm
yeah,
Crocs.
yeah.
Dope DJ. He played a lot of dope records out here in years. I was like, damn, he killed it. You know what I mean? He killed it. And thanks to you too, because you gave me that plug as far as helping me get a DJ out here in the UK that was dope.
Do you have any final words? Anywhere people can find you, stuff like that?
Yeah, man. Final words is first and foremost, thanks to you. Thanks to you for having me. You know what I mean? 521. You can find me at, on Instagram, The Real Bruse Wane, spelled BruseWane, and www.brucewane.com. You can go to my website, BruseWane.com, to keep up with any touring information, all social media. Everything Bruse Wane usually comes through that pipeline first. And once again, it's a pleasure. I'm with a legend.
You know, while you're spelling the name out, just final thing. When I see that it's Bruse, and the way you batter them mics, right, when you're rhyming and everything,
Yeah.
I thought it would have been sick if you called yourself Bruse Wane.
Yeah. I have a guy that refuses to pronounce it right.
He says Bruse Wane. All right.
Rocky Buchanan, head of the Hip Hop Goddamn Museum. Every time I encounter him, what's up, Rocky? What up, Bruce? I'm like, yo.
But it would make sense, though.
Yeah, I don't know if he just got some diction shit. Like, he just says it. I like, Rocky's pronounced Bruce. He laughs. All right, Bruce.
There you go.
Yeah, you know. But real quick, the origin of the name. Of course, my real name is not Bruse Wane. Come on, fellas.
It's Batman.
Come on, man. Yeah. But my name is Bruce. It was like when I was born, my father wanted to name me one thing, and my grandmother wanted to name me Bruce. So even though I'm carrying the name my father wanted me to have, my family still calls me the name my grandmother, my father gave me. My family still calls me the name my grandmother wanted me to have. So if you used to go around my family, you know, you're not gonna have no one call me anything but Bruce. You know? And then the Wayne came through showbiz when I started going into the whole promotional area. I was in a venue and the owner was like, so what's your name? All these big promoters got their names. What's your name? And I was like, Bruce. He was like, that's it? I was like, oh, Wayne. He was like, I like that. And so it just stuck. It was never like a purposely done for a hip hop thing. I used to rap under like True and all these other righteous names and shit. And then when I returned back to the rapping, since I was mostly already known for Bruse Wane from the promotional end, I just said, let me just keep the moniker. And that's how it came about. So hopefully that answers some things for people out there wondering what the hell's going on with this guy. Was he purple? Was he just a sicko and insane Batman fan? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So no copyright infringement intended, but if it happens, good luck catching me. I'm not coming to court.
All right, guys, so you heard it all here. Bruse Wane, all the way from the Bronx. He's in London for a few days, so just purely bumped into him just by chance and had to get this done. Why not? And you heard some gems right there. There was things that I didn't know, and you know what? I don't want to backtrack to everything because then I'll just talk for another 2 hours. Go follow us on the YouTube channel. Subscribe, obviously. Get involved in the comment section, like, share, all that kind of stuff. And also make sure you follow Bruse Wane on his socials. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we'll see you soon. All right, take care. Peace.
Peace.